So this isn't working how we expected. We were supposed to be live on YouTube already. Not working. So we're hoping that now it's working on Facebook Live. So let us know if you're here. We appreciate all of the support. Everybody's texting us, letting us know it's not working. So we're trying to adjust on the fly here. This was like, the worst thing that can happen. We tested everything. We thought we had everything good. And then the internet dies on us. So we apologize for that. So hopefully this is...
I'm not sure it was the internet.
Well,
it was our
internet, sound, our old computer. We don't know. So, just trying to text everybody here real fast. So let us know if you're watching. If you can hear us.
Corey. Hi, Corey.
Corey, you're the man. Thanks for watching.
I mean, it's just, how do you stop this?
We're still trying to end the video on Facebook right now. So
On
that's
YouTube.
how well, or on YouTube. Yeah, so that's how well that's going. All right. Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris. Thank you for watching. Sorry we're having to make you switch over on the fly. I'm still texting everybody. Thanks, Corey, for letting us know. We'll get started here in just a couple minutes. Ugh, it's the worst.
Hi,
Kathy. Yes, you found it. Thank you so much.
Woo-hoo!
We were adjusting on the fly before YouTube went out on us, or our computer wouldn't connect, or whatever was going on. We were talking about how I've been super nervous for like the last 2 hours, and this is literally what I do for a living: is conduct webinars and all of that kind of stuff. And when technology fails, you gotta move fast and figure out another avenue. So thanks to those that were saying to hop over to Facebook, because we just gave that a try. We appreciate everybody that shared it, and we're posting about the YouTube link, and then of course it didn't work. That's life, right? All right, so we'll get started here in just a second. Are you still trying to get it to go?
Yeah, I just told it to delete forever.
Delete forever. Forget it ever happened. That's slightly embarrassing. All right. Well, we'll get started here. You're totally going to want our advice on things when we can't figure out how to work a computer.
Well, at least it's financial and not technological, right?
Accurate.
We're not giving you any advice on how to get online or how to work a computer that's 12 years old.
Hey, if we had all the newest and nicest things, that'd be one thing. But we don't, because we're still working on getting out of debt. So the computers we have were gifts, and so we work with what we got.
Yep.
But we'll get rolling here. And we're getting people... Sorry. Dead air. That's the best thing for live TV. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. I apologize for the distractions. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you all for sharing. That has been sharing the link to a now not working YouTube channel. So we appreciate that so much. Hi, Diane. Thanks for joining. So really what we wanted to come on tonight and do was, we have been, like everybody, of course, have been watching the news, have everybody knows what's going on with the virus and coronavirus going on, all of that scary stuff. And of course, the stock market, if you've noticed, if you're invested at all in the stock market, you've noticed it has not been having a good last couple weeks. So we've been getting phone calls, we've been talking to friends and family, asking us questions on what they should do. Is now a good time to get out of the market? Should they still be investing in the market? All of that kind of stuff. So we just wanted to hop on and talk about that for a few minutes, answer any questions that you might have about the situation, because it's scary. It's a scary time right now. No matter if you're still young professionals like ourselves, younger professionals like ourselves, and or getting closer and closer to retirement, it's a scary time. You're reevaluating what you're supposed to do in life right now, and so we just wanted to come on and kind of help calm some of those fears. So we are doing it over Facebook Live because social distancing, y'all.
Yes. Oh, we're too close.
And we're too close. It's been a weird couple weeks. I got sent home from work about a week and a half ago, which I'm really thankful for, because we have a great company that was really looking out for us and wanting the best for their employees. They sent us some equipment to get going and get up and moving fast, so that we didn't have to worry about getting our job done. So we're really thankful for that. Going back to what we were talking about, and questions are coming in. So our investment portfolio isn't huge, okay, because we put in just a little bit right now, since we are still working on getting out of debt. Basically, the advice that we follow is, when we first started our debt-free journey, we stopped all investment planning. We were entirely focused on paying off our debt. Well, after about 3 or 4 years of that, we had been unplugged for a long time, and we had made a lot of progress. But when we got a new job that matched, we decided to incrementally bump up to at least the amount that our company matched, to take advantage of that free money, basically. So over the course of a couple of years, we bumped up the percentage that we were putting away, and that's how we started investing. So we do put in a little bit every paycheck. And the way that we're doing it is we're staying strong. We're continuing to invest. We're continuing to put money in, no matter what. So for the last 4 years, I noticed an article the other day that said the stock market has now reached the levels that it was at 4 years ago. So over the last 4 years, it has gone up from about 20,000 on the Dow to about 29. Well, now it's gone all the way back down. So those gains that we have received over the last 4 years are essentially wiped out, other than what you have continued to put in. So that's really scaring a lot of people, obviously. But the way I look at it is, it's a fancy term called dollar cost averaging. Right now, we're getting stuff at a deal. If you were to run to Target and get something for 30% off, something that you've been looking at, thinking, I don't know, that $100 price tag is a lot, but I can get it for $66 now, you might jump on that. That's kind of how we're looking at the stock market. So we are going to continue investing. We advise that you guys do as well. Now, we're only giving you advice based on what we are doing ourselves. So if I was telling you something opposite of what we were doing, then that wouldn't be very fair, and it wouldn't be cool. So we are only giving advice based on what we're doing.
So I think what we probably should address prior to delving into that is, when you're investing, you have to remember that you're investing over a long term. So if, most of us, and if you're an older investor and investing in a 401k, this advice may be different, and you can correct me. But, we still have at least 20 more years in the stock market. So even though we see our money going down right now, over the long run, that's going to change. So you're going to have growth over a certain amount of years, rather than just a few months or 1 year.
Right. And even with, as an older investment or an older person closer to their retirement date, as far as investing goes, we understand it's scary to see that your balances are going down as you're getting closer to your retirement. That's like the exact opposite of what your plan was. We get it. The way I try to phrase it to help calm you down a little bit is, just because, let's say you retire June 15th of 2021, okay, next year. On your retirement date, you're not going to be pulling your entire lump sum savings out of retirement. That's not how that works. You may only have to draw a little bit off of it, or you may be able to survive for a little while on Social Security or some other cash savings that you may have. So just because the stock market is down today doesn't mean it's going to be down a year from now or 5 years from now. And just because the stock market may be down a little bit from where it is, again, from where it was a month or two ago, let's say it is still down in June of next year, and you start drawing off a little bit of that each month, the amount of stocks that you're having to sell may be a little bit higher to get that same amount of money out, but you're not pulling everything out all at once. That's where you get scared. That's where people lose their money. If you go back to 2008, when the Dow went down to 6,000 points or 6,800, whatever it was, people were pulling all their money out at the bottom of the market. And had they stayed in for 5 more years, it would have doubled, almost tripled the value. So the only reason they got hit hard in that whole situation was because they pulled it all out and unplugged the investment mechanism from the stock market. So that's why we recommend staying plugged in, keeping going, because overall, if you retire tomorrow, you're not going to have to pull the entire lump sum out at that moment to survive. You're going to be able to draw on it monthly or take it quarterly or however you want to do that. So
Anton, we have a question from Kathy. And she says, do we leave in our investments now? Do we pull them out? Or do we buy more?
Yeah. So kind of going on that point, right now we will get paid. I will get paid tonight. So we're going to be putting just a little bit of money in the stock market tonight, or I guess tomorrow morning when the trade goes through, to purchase more in our investment funds. So we're still buying. That's where you kind of have to decide for your household what you're comfortable with. If you're in a stable job and you have nothing to worry about as far as losing your job, if you're not in the service industry that's been hit hard the last few weeks, or that is going to be hit hard the next few weeks, you can continue investing. If you are in a position where you're worried about your job leaving or being non-existent, then you may not want to throw all your extra cash right now in the stock market. So it's going to kind of be dependent on your situation. But for us, we think that we're in stable positions. Things could always change. We have no control over that. But we think we're in stable positions, so we're going to keep buying. Mm-hmm. We have a little bit of cash if we needed it, if an emergency happened and things went bad. We have our emergency fund set up, our baby emergency fund, that we can access cash for. But other than that, we're just going to continue sort of as we have been.
Okay, we have one more question. What is a good online tool for buying stock now?
So I haven't really dabbled in the online stuff as much. I saw some suggestions of Robinhood, E-Trade. We do all of our stuff through Fidelity. And again, all of ours is set up automatically, so it comes out of our paycheck and goes into the 4 funds that we have set up. We are investing in mutual funds, like I said, every 2 weeks. We have 4 types of mutual funds that we're investing in: growth and income, international growth, and I always forget the 4th one. Growth and income, international. It's gone. Aggressive growth, I think is what it's called. Anyways, there's 4 different types. Dave Ramsey recommends those 4 different types. You can find out on his website. If I was smart, I would have written them down. I apologize because I always forget the fourth one. But we have them split up into those 4 categories. The thought process behind that is that at any one time, if one sector, big businesses, small businesses, international businesses, those kinds of things, if any one sector is struggling, then chances are one of the other sectors is doing just fine and is soaring. So we have it split up into those 4 different pots. Typically, if the U.S. market is struggling a little bit, then the international growth or the international mutual fund is going to be doing better. Now, right now, everything's in a tizzy, okay? So you can't always base it on that, but typically that's how it works. So we are continuing to invest in those mutual funds. We split it up. It's an automatic deposit, and I have it set up with our Fidelity broker that it automatically gets purchased and then split up 4 ways into those 4 different funds. So that's what we're doing. That's what we recommend to invest in, would be mutual funds. I know a little bit about Robinhood, where you can purchase stocks kind of incrementally. You pick your own stocks. I haven't dabbled enough around with it enough to speak intelligently on it, to be honest. But what I find with the mutual funds is we have a plan with that. We know what that plan is, and we're doing the same thing every 2 weeks. So whatever you do, know what you're investing in, know why you're investing in it, not just because some guy on the internet who couldn't figure out YouTube is telling you to invest in it, but because you know, that was me, by the way, that's me. But because you know what it is and you're comfortable with it, because that's what's most important. It's your money. You need to be comfortable with where it's going. So we had another question that was texted to us earlier, and it's kind of on the same lines. If I have cash laying around, should I be investing it? Because if what we're saying is the stock market's on sale right now, kind of, is now a good time to buy. And what I always like to make sure to say about that is it depends on what type of situation you're in. Mm-hmm. Okay? We recommend investing money in the stock market only if you're going to be leaving it in there for more than 5 years. Okay? The history of the stock market, you can go back over the history, and over a 5-year period, any 5-year period, the stock market has never lost money. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't lose money on a 1-year period, or 18 months, or 3 months, or 3 weeks. Okay? So if you were deciding to say, let's say you have $10,000 in the bank, and a month ago you're like, I'm going to invest in the stock market because the stock market keeps going up and it's going to be awesome. And in 3 months from now, when I get ready to buy my house, I'll just pull it out with whatever it's earned and go buy my house. That hasn't worked out well, because you would have lost, instead of having $10,000, you'd have about $6,500 right now. So if you're looking for short-term investments, that's something like a money market account or maybe a CD. CDs don't always pay great interest. So we just recommend parking it in like a money market account where you might make 1%, but you're not going to lose money. Okay? The stock market, you can gain money, but as we found out this past week, you can lose a lot of money too. So if it's not a long-term investment, long-term being 5 years or more, don't invest in the stock market. Okay, maybe you're saving up for a down payment on a house. You need that 20%. Should you throw it in the stock market? Not if you're going to purchase a house within the next 5 years. Because the last thing we want you to do is work really, really hard to get your 20%.
Yeah.
And go and
think of like 3 months ago.
Right.
Where would you be now? So
right.
You have to leave the money in there.
Let it marinate.
Marinate, grow. You got to give it that time.
So you want those shorter term investments if it's something you're looking at doing today. So as far as, we'll switch gears here a little bit. If you have more questions on investing, please send those through. We'd be happy to answer them. But we are going to switch gears a little bit. For those that may be watching for the first time or don't really know what you stumbled onto, So what I do is what we do. We lead Financial Peace University classes through our church, which is a course taught by Dave Ramsey and his team. He's a financial guru, know-it-all, whatever, out of Nashville, Tennessee. And so we've been leading those classes now for about 6 years. We have led over 300 families, I think, through it. Total debt payoff that they've reported to us during those times is over $2 million worth of debt payoff. So we found this program for ourselves first and started going through it. And we've been working on paying down our debt for a long time. We're getting close. Our goal is to be done by the end of 2020.
2020 is not starting off super exciting for that, but
it's not.
You know,
but
God knows.
God knows.
He's in control.
That's right. So, and we may have stimulus checks coming soon, and you know where ours will be going, which we can talk more about that here in a minute. But as far as part of the plan is we hop on the plan. We started budgeting for the first time in our marriage when we started this class, where we sat down and we accounted for every dollar where that money was going to go before the month began. And so we've been doing a budget consistently now for the last few years, every single month. So one of the questions that came up was, well, what are we doing now with our budget? Are we making any changes in our budget based on what's happening in the world right now?
Yeah.
So we just wanted to talk quickly about that. So some things that are being affected, obviously we're working from home. So our commute is non-existent right now, which is kind of awesome.
So that was, I would say the majority of our changes are not necessarily intentional. They're a little more of a forced change, but they are positive because we're seeing a positive impact.
Right.
Now, fortunately for us, our income so far has stayed the same. So I know that may not be the case for everybody, but you may also see these changes in your budget.
But it's a good time right now, obviously, to evaluate your budget, and a lot of people are evaluating their budget right now. So we had actually talked about a month ago of doing like a what did you call it?
It's like I said, what if we could take one category out of our budget and completely dissolve it into our debt snowball?
Yeah, so
at
basically,
least for 1 month, and
stop
then we
spending
can go from there.
Yeah, so stop spending on that one category for that 1 month, so that we can put all of that money extra on our debt snowball, which is what we use to pay down our debt. So we had talked about doing that, and then this sort of happened and kind of did it for us. So we are probably going to have $0 in gas that we have to pay down, or that we have to use this month. So we're going to be able to use that and put extra on whatever our next debt is. It's one of Tasha's student loans,
Gasoline.
the never-ending student loans. But we're getting close. We're getting close. So for us, our budget, the gas prices are definitely going down, but the amount of money that we've spent on gas has gone way down. So we're throwing that extra toward our debt. Our grocery budget went up a little bit, probably, just because we were preparing a little bit more for the quarantine. Now, we were not those crazy people. We did not go buy 1,700 rolls of toilet paper.
Here's the deal. Because we budget everything in our house. When toilet paper has a coupon, I buy toilet paper. So we have toilet paper in our bathroom. So that's a whole nother side note. We have meat in our freezer. When it goes on sale, we buy it and we stock up. So that helped us. We have plenty of food to make us through, several weeks in quarantine. We just were able to stock up on a few of those comfort items that would help us, feel a little more comfortable not eating out or not being able to leave our house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Plus.
So our eating out budget has also gone down a little bit. We are picking and choosing to try to support some of the local businesses in our area or the local owners in our area. It may sound funny, but like we had Chick-fil-A for lunch today. That was kind of a special thing to go pick it up through the drive-thru and have Chick-fil-A. Now I know Chick-fil-A is a national company, but many of those types of companies in your area are locally owned. So it's a franchise, obviously, of a bigger company, but the people that run it and own it are often some of the biggest donors or biggest
They're supporters.
supporters
Yeah.
in your community. So be on the lookout for those. The reason we went to Chick-fil-A today was for that very reason. The owner of one of the Chick-fil-A's in town is a huge supporter of Calvary Christian School. They want to help the school where our kids go, so they donate food for events and things like that for fundraisers pretty frequently there. So we wanted to support them in that. But as far as our budget goes, that's kind of what we're adjusting. So for you, this is a great time to have it what we call an emergency budget meeting, where you sit down with your spouse or your accountability partner if you're single, and you readjust your budget now on the fly. This is part of the deal. Just because you sit down and do your budget on the first of the month doesn't mean that that's what it's going to stay the rest of the month.
I have $5 in groceries, so I have to spend $500 in grocery. I think I said 5 to start with.
That's okay.
500, whatever your number is. You don't have to spend money in that category. You can move it. And obviously, if you're in the debt payoff mode, moving it to that debt snowball is great. If you don't feel comfortable with your debt snowball this month just because of the uneasiness, move it into a short-term savings account. You know, like a little mini extra mini emergency fund. And then when everything starts picking back up, make that large snowball payment.
Right. And that's the exact advice I would give. So there was a question that came through about, do you have an opinion about the best way to use the stimulus check if that happens? Well, like I said, for us, we will probably, if we get it, if that happens, we'll probably evaluate the situation, see where we're at that time, and then decide what to do with it then. But chances are, because we are blessed to have stable positions at our jobs, chances are we're going to take that money and roll it right onto our debt. So we're just going to be sending a big old payment to our student loans, because overall, that's our goal. That's our stimulus that we are working on for our family to get us out of debt, which means each month we would have more money to stimulate the economy on an ongoing basis. So that's what our plan is going to be for that money. But again, it depends on your situation. So if you're sitting there scared about your employment or what's going on, then sitting on that money, just like Tasha was saying, for a little while is probably not a bad thing. Look, I know they're giving it to us to stimulate the economy. I get it. But you have to make those personal decisions as well as to what's going to be the best for you and your household. Because again, ultimately, this is going to end, hopefully in the next month or two, hopefully quickly. But we want you to be in the best position after it's over. And panic spending on stuff is not necessarily the best case. Now, if you use it for groceries because you don't have any, then absolutely use that for groceries. Yeah. We're not telling you to starve or something to try to, throw extra on your debt or something. When you're in crisis mode, you need to calm down, evaluate what's happening around you, what position you're in, and then go from there. One of the saddest things that we hear a lot is that people are more, when it's a crisis, when things have happened and money is low, one of the first things that they stop paying for is groceries and feeding they'll feed their kids, or they'll stop eating, or they're not eating as much, or they're not eating healthy meals. And they continue paying their credit cards or their student loans or things like that, but they're not buying groceries. And the reason for that is because the credit card companies call and yell at you. They scare you into paying them. Okay? So it's a person by person situation. We do not want you running out and spending the money on, whatever, because you're trying to do your duty to stimulate the economy, but not eat. Okay? You need to take care of your 4 walls first. What are those 4 walls? You need to make sure that you're fed. You need to make sure that you have a house, something a roof over your head is what I'm trying to say. Transportation. Well, right now, luckily, you may not have to be commuting as much. But as far as, making your car payment, because you are going to need transportation to keep your job, if that's in play, make sure you're continuing to make your car payment. And then clothing. Now, again, right now, clothing probably isn't as big of an emergency, okay? Because we all have closets, so I'm assuming you have some clothes. But those four walls, we want you to take care of first, okay? So as far as giving advice on what you're going to spend it on and how you're going to spend it, it's really going to depend on you. But I want you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first, not credit card companies, not whatever bill is calling you and yelling at you in the time of crisis. We can deal with the credit card stuff later. We can, they'll call and be angry with you, and you can tell them that your financial coach told them that they have to wait. Because guess what? I just told you that they have to wait. So I just elected myself as your financial coach. And if they want to yell, you can contact me. I'll give you my phone number. They can call me. I would love to have those conversations.
And
I thrive on those.
I was going to say too, if you don't have any issues with your 4 pillars and you're out of debt and you're doing all your other baby steps, then stimulate the economy.
There you go.
If you're saving up for a trip to Disneyland or Disney World or a cruise, probably want to wait a little bit on the cruise. Trip anywhere. Put it toward that.
Have fun.
This can be fun money. It doesn't have to be serious. So if you're not in a situation where it has to be serious, then have fun.
Yeah.
Stimulate the economy. Enjoy something. Relax. If you're saving up for a car, put it towards your car.
There you go.
So
no,
that's what I wish I was putting mine toward. Being honest. I go on a cruise, I go to Disney, I could buy a car, a new computer.
Yeah. She would be a hashtag economy stimulator
no problem
right there.
Sending that money.
We stole that from our sister-in-law, but that was funny because yes, we would love to spend it on something fun, and we'll get to that point pretty soon. Right now, we would put ours toward our debt. So that's what we're looking at. So we had another question come through about investing. You're using Fidelity for more than the 401k. I don't think we can change the percentage that goes in every paycheck. That's going to be dependent probably on the plan that you're set up with. But Matthew, for us, because we're coworkers, I'm pretty sure you can change that at any time through their app or by calling your representative. You can change what percentage is going in at any time, as far as I am aware. So, because the 2 or 3 times I've gone in to do it, like after the new year or when maybe a raise went into effect or something like that, I've never had a problem doing that. So, as far as I know, you can do that at any time because that's when I've done it. So, thanks for that question.
We also have our other investments there. We had other investments from other employment that we rolled over into Fidelity. So yes, we use Fidelity and Edward Jones.
Yeah, but on the one account that we have there at Fidelity, we just rolled over. We do not put any more money into that one. It's just we couldn't combine them, so they ended up being 2 separate funds, but they're invested the exact same. So we have it set up that way. All right, I think we answered the question on the stimulus check. Let's see, what else? Are there any other questions coming through? We don't want to keep you guys all night.
I don't see any.
Okay, Kathy, yeah, Kathy thinks that she can change hers on Fidelity as well. So I don't think it's like insurance. A lot of times at your job, you have to have like a life-changing event or something to change your beneficiaries or to change what type of insurance fund or insurance plan you have. I don't believe that's the case for any sort of retirement fund. I think you can change that at just about any time. It's a good question. Matthew, I'm not gonna answer that question. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. Not gonna do it.
Okay.
All right. So if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us. That was awesome.
Sticking with us,
finding us on the other platforms that we were on. So we did want to just announce. So as we mentioned earlier in the video, we do have. We have always typed. What am I saying? Typed. We've always taught is what I was looking for. Financial Peace University at our church. Well, right now, that's not an option with quarantine and all that kind of stuff. So what we're looking at is to do a virtual Financial Peace University class. So again, that's a course that you purchase through Dave Ramsey. So we're not making any money off this or anything like that. You purchase the kit through Dave Ramsey, and then we want to teach it via like a Zoom class or a WebEx.
Not Zumba.
Not Zumba. And
Zoom.
not YouTube, because clearly we're not capable of that.
YouTube illiterate.
But we want to teach a virtual class. So we thought this would be really fun. We started teaching this after we moved to Texas. And now that we live in Illinois, we've gotten a chance to coach it here as well. But we have friends in multiple states. We've lived in Oregon, Washington, Texas, and Illinois. And so we thought it would be super awesome to be able to put this out for all of our friends and family that live in all of those different areas to be able to possibly do this class together. We've gotten a lot of requests or people that will ask, where can I join a class? And typically I always send them to their local church or their local area to find a class. But now we have an opportunity to do it online. So
how that would work, I believe, is you would watch the video and then we would have a Zoom meeting or a hangout, virtual hangout, where we talk through the material, answer questions, and really connect on those topics.
Yeah, so we've conducted 32 Financial Peace Universities, I think, now. And this will be the first one that we've done virtually. So it's kind of fun. It's a fun opportunity that we're looking into. Because, like I said, we have friends in lots of places. And so we're hoping to get a wide swath of people to join. We have family that lives in Ohio now, and Idaho, Arizona, lots of places. So we're hoping to get something put together. So if that's something you're interested in, shoot us a message, a text message, however you send messages nowadays, and let us know, because we'd love to have you sign up and join that class. So that was something we wanted to announce.
Yes.
It's going to be new for us. We're excited to see how it goes, but I hope, as you can tell through this process, through our website, through our blogs, that this is something we're truly passionate about. It's something that we want to help as many people get healthy through financial peace and through learning how to budget, learning how to manage their money. And so we want to help as many people as possible, and this is an opportunity to do that. So before we cut off, if you haven't watched any of our videos before, one of the segments that we always do is, what did Anton buy? Woo, 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 woo. So we, in our budget, we have a line item built in that is for fun money. To get this personal money to get to spend on whatever you want, and your wife can't judge you for it. So we always like to show one of those things at the end of the video to kind of see what you can spend your money on. I mean, Tasha buys Starbucks. I buy things that are unnecessary. So, but sometimes we also get stuff for free. So as a part of a giveaway, Dr. Pepper was doing a Funko Pop giveaway where if you bought a certain number of bottles of Dr. Pepper, you could send away for a free Funko Pop. If you know me,
sweet one.
I have a lot of them. Yes. It's the sweet one. So I have a lot of them. I really wanted to add it to my collection. I don't drink Diet Dr. Pepper, but I thought it was really cool. So Tasha and I went out at midnight one night to buy these bottles of Dr. Pepper.
Yes, we did.
Because it went live and I knew we were going to have to be quick. So we both ended up getting one. And we already sold hers on eBay for, we're going to make about $18 or $19 on it. So we got one for my collection. Bam! And we also got one to sell to pay off our debt quicker. So that's what we're doing. I just wanted to show you that. So it doesn't always have to be a bunch of money that you're spending. Sometimes it can be a free thing that you earned. So that's what we want to go. Make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Was there one more that snuck in? Does Dave Ramsey have scholarships for people to help with the cost of course materials? Not that I know of directly through his website. But right now, who knows? I mean, who knows with the state of the world that we're in? It may be something they implement. But we never want the price of the class to hinder anybody from joining. It's like $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, once you go through the first few weeks of the class and really get your budget down, you're going to find $100.
Absolutely. It is 100% worth it. You will get your money back. I always tell people, if you come to the full 9-week course, and you attend, you do the homework, you do all that thing, and at the end of the 9 weeks, you find that it was worthless, that you didn't get any value out of it, I'll buy your kit. I'll pay for your kit for you.
Personal money.
Out of my personal money, which is a big ask, and I can sniff out liars, so don't lie. But if you're in one of our classes and you find no value in it, I'll buy it back from you. So far, I've had to buy 0 kits. Okay, so we know that you'll get value out of it. But if cost is a hindrance, by all means, let me know. We can try to figure something out. Try to find scholarships. Try to find a church that's willing to help. Something. We'll make it happen. Anyways, thank you all for joining.
Yes, thanks you.
Thanks for following us here. Sorry it was a little disjointed to start, but we just wanted to thank you all for joining. Thanks for watching Sense of Survival, where we help to move you from merely surviving with money to thriving with money. Have a great night.